Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, will Tom Brady join the Tennessee Titans? I think there are offensive changes coming for the Tennessee Titans based on the candidates they are looking at for offensive coordinator. And will local boy Jalen Ramsey come home to Tennessee and play for the Titans? Today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. Let's get it.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It has begun, Titans fans. The offseason is officially here. The Tom Brady to the Tennessee Titans rumors and reports have begun. We're going to discuss them. How realistic is it to expect the GOAT to come to the Tennessee Titans? Before we get into all of that, I do want to let you know that today's episode of Locked On Titans is presented by more or less than their PrizePicks projection. You can win up to 10 times your money on your entry. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. That's PrizePicks.com, promo code Locked On. Thank you guys for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content for free all year round on all platforms, including here on the Locked On Titans YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, smash that notification bell, and throw a thumbs up on the video right now if you're watching. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. And hey, the content's free. All I ask in return is a push of a button. So with that being said, it's time, guys. Like I said, the offseason has officially begun. There are Tom Brady to the Tennessee Titans rumors. Okay, that is the unofficial beginning to the Titans offseason every single year for like the last 3 years. But this year feels a little different. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers aren't in as good of a position as they have been in previous years to entice Tom Brady to stay. So it makes sense that Brady would be on the move. Now, there was a report from the NFL Network, and essentially what he said was Tom Brady leaves Tampa Bay. There are 3 teams that are primarily interested in his services that would make sense for him. Number one is the team that I ultimately think is where Tom Brady goes that makes the most sense, and that's the Las Vegas Raiders. For a long time. He's got a good cast of weapons there with Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow and, of course, Devontae Adams. Some good pieces on defense in Vegas as well. Not only that, but Josh McDaniels, his former coach, is there. So a lot of connections there. Also, another team that was rumored is the San Francisco 49ers. And that's where Tom Brady grew up. That was his team that he rooted for growing up. So it makes sense that maybe he would want to go there. They have Brock Purdy right now, but they would probably go with Tom Brady over Brock Purdy. But the last team, of course, is the Titans. And you think about why that would make sense. And, of course, you have the relationship between Tom Brady and Mike Vrabel. You see the picture in the thumbnail. They're great friends. They've been great friends for a long time. But I know a lot of you guys are saying, why would Tom Brady come to Tennessee? The offensive line is terrible. The weapons aren't up to par. But, guys, if the Titans, let's just go down the rabbit hole, okay? If the Titans could get Tom Brady, that means that they would trade or they would cut Ryan Tannehill, which would save $18 to $25 million, depending on when they did it and when they executed it. You add to it the 30-some million that they can save on Taylor Lewan, Zach Cunningham, Robert Woods, even Randy Bullock. If the Titans make some moves there, if Ben Jones does decide to retire, if Tom Brady came back, maybe Ben Jones doesn't decide to retire. There's a lot of dominoes that could fall if this were to happen. But my point is, if Tom Brady decided to do that, let's say, hey, Mike Vrabel, my best friend, I am going to come to Tennessee on a cheap, team-friendly deal. But if I do that, You got to go out and make some moves to make me happy. You got to hire an offensive coordinator that I want to work with, all of that. And that's all possible right now. That could all happen. So I think that there are logical reasons for this to happen. And there is logical reasoning that could lead you there. Now, I do want to say this. I do think it's incredibly unlikely. I just don't think that the Titans are the best fit for a 46-year-old Tom Brady if he wants to go win another championship. I just think that the Raiders or the 49ers would make a lot more sense, and the Raiders actually would have him. Now, I know the other side of this is some of you guys are screaming at your computer right now or screaming at your phone. Tom Brady's 46 years old next year. I don't want him as my quarterback. And I get it, guys, but he threw for 4,694 yards in the regular season. He had 25 touchdowns. He had 66.8% completion percentage. He was under the most pressure in the NFL, but took one of the least amount of sacks. The guy is still a very good football player. And with the amount of cap room the Titans could carve out if Tom Brady gave them a team-friendly deal and some of the moves that they could execute, I don't think it's insane that Tom Brady could feel like he's in a position to win in Tennessee. And do you really want to go play for the Raiders in the same division as Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert? No, I'd much rather play in the AFC South if I'm Tom Brady. I mean, the AFC is going to be hard enough. I'd rather do it in the South if I had to. So, listen, I am saying it right now. I think it's incredibly unlikely. I don't think that Tom Brady is coming to Tennessee, but two things. It could happen. And if it did happen, I'm down for it. I'm in. This team hasn't won a championship in 25 years. Why not give it one shot with the best quarterback to ever live, with a top 10 NFL head coach, and devoting all the cap space and all the resources that you have to making the offensive line good for Tom Brady and helping the offense? You have the pieces on defense if you're a little bit healthier. So, one, I don't think it's going to happen. Two, there is some realistic logic that said it could happen. And three, if it does, I'm here for it. So I'm sorry. I don't see how you could say you'd rather have 36-year-old Ryan Tannehill than have Tom Brady. I just don't see an argument for that. So if the Titans want to try to win and their current plan is to bring back Ryan Tannehill, if there is a realistic alternate option to get Tom Brady, then you have to do that. Not realistic, in my opinion. I think the Raiders make more sense. But again, if it's on the table, it's only smart for the Titans to push and try to get it done. But the Titans requested interviews with two potential offensive coordinators from the same team. We're going to talk about who they are and why. Even if the Titans don't hire either of them, I think it's a great sign for what the Titans are thinking about what to do on offense. So we're going to get into that in just a moment. Before we do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made simple. Look, they have a projection for every player. So Derrick Henry, 100 rushing yards. Pat Mahomes, 300 passing yards. Jamar Chase, 100 receiving yards. All you do is pick 2 to 5 players, look at their projection, and you say whether the player is going to do more or they're going to do less. If you get it right, you can win up to 10 times your money on your entry. And right now, Locked On Titans listeners get a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 when they use promo code Locked On. So that is first-time users on the PrizePicks app or PrizePicks.com. Use promo code Locked On to get a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks Daily Fantasy made simple. Also, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Guys, BetterHelp's absolutely fantastic. I've worked with BetterHelp myself. I really like the process of how they match you to a therapist. They ask you questions about your background, your history, what you're looking for, and it takes into account whether you need help with childhood traumas, whether you need help with self-esteem issues. It really gets to know what you want help with most to give you to a therapist that can help you most in that area. So that process really personalized, and I think that's one of the best parts of working with BetterHelp Online Therapy. It's helped millions of people all around the globe 100% available online. You get all the benefits of in-person therapy, but it's more convenient, more accessible, and more affordable. So make sure that you help yourself get unstuck with BetterHelp. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at BetterHelp.com/lockedon. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. Check it out today. I think you guys will really like what you find. Titans fans, we just talked about Tom Brady potentially coming to the Tennessee Titans. And as I said, the offseason is officially here. We got Tom Brady to Tennessee Titans rumors. That's how you know the offseason has officially it has begun. But with that in mind, we are going to move forward. The Titans requested an interview for their offensive coordinator position with two people within the Chiefs organization. I'll tell you who they are, and more importantly, what it means for the Titans' philosophy going into this offensive coordinator search. Before we get into it, I do want to thank you guys again for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen every day, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round on all platforms. Again, always free. Make sure you subscribe on whatever platform you do stream. But first, the Titans requested an interview with Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. So Bieniemy is one of the more polarizing figures in the NFL in the coaching sphere. So Bieniemy is a guy who a lot of people have expected to get a head coaching opportunity at some point over the last 3 to 4 years, and it just never came. It just never actually showed up. Now, of course, the question is Bieniemy doesn't call plays for the Chiefs. So is Bieniemy just a recipient of being around Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, or is Bieniemy talented in his own right? And that's a question that people around the NFL are asking when they decide whether to hire him. Now, he's gotten interviews for head coaching positions and hasn't been hired. Now, I don't like to go too far into this stuff because you don't have details, but if you dig a little deeper, you can see that there are some player-coach conflicts that have popped up with Bieniemy, where maybe some of the people he's coaching aren't big fans of him personally. He does have, some legal, I'll say, issues or concerns in his past that teams haven't been real excited about. So all of those things have led to Eric Bieniemy not getting a head coaching opportunity. So the Titans are requesting Bieniemy for offensive coordinator. And I would look at this very similarly to like what happened with the Titans and Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur was the offensive coordinator for the Rams, but he wasn't the play caller because Sean McVay. So plays and leading an offense. He did that with the Titans in 2018 and then immediately got a head coaching opportunity. So the idea for Bieniemy, call plays, fix this offense, and that will be a springboard for you to be a head coach. But according to the report, Bieniemy doesn't want to interview for an offensive coordinator position. He is only interested in head coaching opportunities. I think that is probably a risky proposition if you are Eric Bieniemy and haven't hold fast and wait for a head coaching opportunity, then by all means, Eric, go ahead and do that. The other guy within the Chiefs organization that the Titans asked about is Matt Nagy, who was the former head coach of the Chicago Bears. Nagy is currently the quarterback coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. And look, I get that people are going to have reservations about Matt Nagy. He bombed out with the Bears, but the thing is, he led the Bears to a 12-4 record with Mitch Trubisky in 2018 and led him to the playoffs. So it's not like Matt Nagy is, terrible or anything like that. I mean, it didn't work with the Bears. Their GM got fired. They didn't have good enough personnel to get it done. But again, you lead Mitch Trubisky to 12-4 in a playoff berth and make Mitch Trubisky look good? You can't be that bad. Now, one thing I will say is Matt Nagy's been a little indecisive with his scheme at times. He wants to be a pass-first guy all the time, even when his personnel calls to be a run-first team. When he went with a run-first approach with the Bears, they looked their best. When he got too deep into his pass-heavy stuff, they didn't look great. So did Matt Nagy learn from that and learn to do what's best for his team and maybe not what he wants personally? We can only know when he gets another opportunity. But here's the larger point I want to make about both these candidates, who I do think makes sense for the Titans. Mike Vrabel is looking for a new scheme. Mike Vrabel is not trying to do the same thing the Titans have always done on offense. I thought that the odds were that Mike Vrabel would promote from within or find somebody who wants to run his. Doesn't seem like that's what the Titans are doing. It seems like the Titans want an entirely new offensive system. The Titans want an entirely new offensive philosophy because the Titans run the ball the most on early downs in the NFL over the last few years, the most. And the Chiefs throw the ball the most on early downs over the last few years. So you're interviewing two candidates from pass-heavy offensive systems. To me, it's not only that the Titans, pick the brain of people in Kansas City. What are they doing on offense? What is their philosophy? I need to know more. Tell me more. So as a fact-finding mission, even if Bieniemy and Nagy do not get the job or do not accept the Titans' requests for interviews, the fact that the Titans are looking to pick their brain, the fact that the Titans are talking to people who have a pass-heavy, pass-first offense, and they're interested in those candidates, again, guys, that's great news, in my opinion, for what we want the Titans to change. The Titans can't keep playing 1990s football. They need to change up their philosophy. It hasn't worked for 20 years. It's time to change it up. So I love the candidates that the Titans are interviewing. I think that's a good sign, even if they aren't the candidates that the Titans ultimately hire. Mike Vrabel is not going to sit back and play the same offensive philosophy that he has for forever. So I see changes coming to the offense for the Titans. But once we actually get a hire of a GM and an offensive coordinator, we'll know more about the direction they're going. But again, this should give you hope as a Titans fan that Mike Vrabel isn't just going to sit back and do what he's done throughout his tenure with the Titans. He is looking to make real changes to the offensive philosophy. So I love seeing that. With that in mind, though, we're going to move forward to another player that I didn't even see a rumor or a report, but the fan base is just going nuts, speculating that this player could come home. I'm going to talk about the player himself, Jalen Ramsey, but also just talk about the general fan base reaction when any of these names happen. But before we get into that, do want to tell you guys about the Ultimate Football GM app, guys. This is a fantastic mobile game on your phone. You're going to have a blast if you download it and play it. You can literally manage every aspect of your football franchise. You are an NFL GM. You hire coaches, fire coaches, hire coordinators, staff. You can trade players, make draft picks. You can navigate your franchise through free agency, the draft, all the ups and downs of a season. You can pick what kind of philosophy you have on offense and defense, what your base formations are. And my favorite part is you can create a league with all your friends so you can have trash talk and monitor who's winning, keep track of different seasons. Right now, there's a huge league with all the hosts of the Locked On NFL podcast. Absolute blast of a time. You guys got to check this out, especially with the all season showing up. Great way to pass your free time. Locked On Titans listeners can get a 100% free boost to their franchise when they use the promo code Locked On in all caps in the store inside the game. That's Locked On in all caps. Make sure that you check it out today. The ultimate-gm.com, or just look it up in your app store, ultimate-gm.com. Ultimate Football GM. Start your dynasty today. Titans fans, we are going to cap off today's show. We talked about Tom Brady rumors to the Titans, reports really, more than rumors. We talked about two offensive coordinator candidates from the Chiefs that the Titans interviewed and why that's great, even if they don't get the job. Now I want to talk about this Jalen Ramsey stuff and just a general overall point about how the fan base reacts to any of this stuff. Before we get into it, I do want to thank you guys again for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first to listen every day. As for your second listen, check out the Locked On NFL podcast. You get all your Titans news here with me in under 30 minutes every day. Get all your NFL news in under 30 minutes with the Locked On NFL podcast. Free and available on all platforms. It's on YouTube as well, Monday through Friday, all year long. But this weekend, Jalen Ramsey tweeted out that it may be the end. Basically, it was some vague post about potentially being the end in Los Angeles. And of course, every Titans fan, not every Titans fan, but a bunch of Titans fans got on Twitter. They're tagging me and stuff, asking me questions. Can the Titans get Jalen Ramsey? Look, guys, is Jalen Ramsey a good player? Yes. Is Jalen Ramsey a great player? Yes. Is Jalen Ramsey going to be 29 years old next year in the season? Yes. Is Jalen Ramsey going to cost $18 to $20 million on the cap next year? Yes. All year long, all of you guys complain about the offensive line. This offensive line is trash. Dennis Daly, trash. We got to fix the O-line or nothing matters. Blah, 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 blah. Well, you can't turn around and then get into the offseason and totally forget about the offensive line. You guys want DeAndre Hopkins, and you guys want Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, and you guys want freaking DeAndre Hopkins, Jalen Ramsey, and all, like, it's just not the direction this team is going. This team is not getting older and more expensive. They're trying to get away from older and more expensive. This team is trying to get younger. So that's why I said, hey, if Tom Brady wants to come on a team-friendly deal, then sure. But guess who's not coming on a team-friendly deal? Jalen Ramsey or DeAndre Hopkins. Because they're not 46 years old. So it's just one of those things that somebody said it in the comments earlier. Shout out to David Brown. Yes, David. We got to stop acting like the Titans are going to sign every free agent or trade for every expensive veteran that's available. The Titans Super Bowl window is closed. Cuts are coming. I said something like that on Twitter last week. I mentioned Robert Woods directly. But you guys, this is the same conversation basically that we had about Taylor Lewan, that I've had about Robert Woods. Expensive veterans are not what this team is looking for right now. This team isn't looking to make one move and go all in. If Tom Brady will come on a cheap, super cheap deal, then sure. But like I said earlier, that's not likely. That's not realistic. What is realistic is the Titans keep Ryan Tannehill, and they try to do the best they can next year by cutting the expensive veterans like Lewan, Woods, Cunningham, Dupree, and getting cheaper and getting younger, so that if they do have to make an extreme pivot in 2024, they're on track to do that. Okay? But this thing where every shiny toy that you see in the store you want, you're going to be disappointed this offseason if you think the Titans are going big game hunting to get expensive veteran free agents. You're going to be disappointed. I don't care who the GM that they hire is. That's not what Mike Vrabel is going to do. So I saw the Jalen Ramsey stuff, and people when I said that, no, I don't think that makes sense for the Titans, everyone got mad. Jalen Ramsey's awesome. He's a great player. We need players like Jalen Ramsey is awesome. You know what the Titans need? They need to draft a Jalen Ramsey. That's what they need right now. They need to draft those guys, not pay them when they're almost 30 and getting the most money they're ever going to get in their career. That's not where the Titans are at right now. So I'm just trying to warn you guys. I'm just trying to keep it in perspective and make sure that you know what's coming so that you aren't as mad when you don't get the shiny toy that you're looking at in the store, because you're not going to get them, because that's not where the Titans are at as a team. Mike Vrabel wants to change this team right now. We just talked about it with the offensive coordinators. changes are coming, guys. Mike Vrabel does not want to stick with this offensive philosophy, okay? The way the team was structured with all the expensive veterans and then a bunch of guys that are undrafted free agent level contracts, he doesn't want to do that anymore, okay? So I'm just telling you, don't expect Jalen Ramsey. Don't expect DeAndre Hopkins. Don't expect Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. That's not the direction this team needs to go, all right? Just letting you know that. So with that in mind, I appreciate you guys hanging with me. The stream has been a little wonky at times, I think, with the signal. So if there was any mess up there, my apologies. Also, I am like battling food poisoning like a mug right now. So I probably don't sound my best either. But either way, just wanted to let you guys know those two little bit of items in case there was any issue with the stream. But that's going to do it for me today, folks. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.